It is with my great pleasure that I introduce our keynote speaker this year. The students of Leeming know our guest very well, and we are extremely fortunate that the inspiring Mr. Paul Litherland has agreed to join us tonight to address the class of 2023. Paul was recently awarded West Australian of the Year for 2022. This was for his outstanding work in the field of cyber safety education and a campaigner. Paul had previously worked in the police force in the Technology Crime Unit. It was during this time that Paul became acutely aware that our kids were extremely vulnerable online. This awareness drove Paul to found his business, Surf Safe Online, and to educate teachers, parents and students about internet awareness and safety. It is my honour to invite Mr. Paul Litherland to the podium to address the class of 2023.
Thanks, Natalie. Good evening, special guests, faculty, parents, families and friends, and of course the class of 2023. Normally I'm standing before you talking about cyber safety, asking you not to do TikTok videos in bathrooms and making sure you're not getting scammed V-Bucks and stuff like that, but instead I'm humbled to speak to you tonight this evening as a guest, and not just simply as an incursion-based educator, but as a valued member of your school community. I'm extremely proud to be here tonight and to help you celebrate your high school journey. I've been privileged to be part of your journey now for 8 years. Many of you, since your primary school time at year 5 and 6, you've seen me talk. From watching Charlie Bit My Finger in year 7 to freaking out about Omegle in year 12, okay? Parents, you can find out about that one later. It's been great to share my knowledge and experiences with you. Next year I celebrate 10 years presenting at Leeming Senior High School, a milestone I'm very proud of, and I thank the school for continuing to trust me with this education to your children. In that time I've built a great rapport with all of you, and I'm truly honoured to be invited to farewell you this evening. Well, you made it. You rocked up on day 1 of year 7 all those years ago, full of nerves, apprehension. High school was a massive place and you were worried about how you were going to fit in. Aside from schoolwork, planking was no longer cool, and you were excited by who was going to nominate you for the Ice Bucket Challenge. As you hit year 9 and 10, you're in the middle of the school, you're the middle child of the school, and had finally started to find your place and knew exactly when and when not to dab. Okay, your parents were happy, you were very excited about flossing, even though it had nothing to do with your teeth. As tension at school started to rise, you found comfort in your fidget spinners while simultaneously trying to stop teachers from confiscating them. By year 12, school seemed just that little bit smaller and apprehension started to creep in once again. This time it was about exams and where you may be headed in the future. Hashtag where to now. The simplicity of those early years seems so long ago as you now consider your next journey and embark on life. I look back on my high school year, or high school days, 110 years ago, and I remember I was so unsure of where I was going. I graduated not far from you guys, Hamilton Senior High School. Lunchbox, drink, knife, okay. They've knocked it down now, that's how bad it was, but my memories of the place were so much more than bricks and mortar. I was very glad to leave school, but at times in my adult life, and I think we all agree, we often wish we were back there. I said to you in year 8, one day you're going to miss this joint, and I reckon that's starting to kick in now. But your journey now lays ahead of you, and it's one you should be very excited to embrace. Your teachers have prepared you as best they can for whatever lies ahead. So have faith in the fact that you are ready, because you've worked hard to get here. Graduating high school is a massive achievement. As such, each and every one of you should be very proud of that achievement and how far you have come. I therefore encourage you to embrace that pride and hit the ground running. However, never forget to also take time to slow down and embrace where you're heading, because time flies. I remember my mum saying to me when I was at school, "Time goes pretty quickly, Paul, when you're out in the real world." At 52, I now realise how right she was. I therefore offer a quote from a great philosopher from the 1980s, an influential young man who changed the lives of so many of your parents. He said, "Life's pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it." That person's name was Ferris Bueller. I stand before you today as a man with lived experiences. My path in life has never been constant, and my journey has never been completely in a direction I wanted it or thought it would go. So please never be afraid to change lanes or to take on new challenges. But more importantly, never be afraid of failing, because you will fail. From stuffing up on the first day at work, missing out on that perfect job, or accidentally tasering your boss when he's on the phone with the commissioner. You will face obstacles, and though at times those obstacles maybe seemed too difficult to get over, I encourage you to trust yourself in overcoming them. If you can't get over them, say stuff ya and get around them. My journey into cyber safety started from the greatest of obstacles. What I first saw as a failure ended up being one of the greatest journeys of my life. Many of you will not know that in 2004, whilst on duty as a police officer, I was hit by a car on the Kwinana freeway. I was very nearly killed and received severe injuries. Those injuries made me face a difficult 6 years of rehabilitation in order to walk again and to get back to work. Sadly, as a result of that crash, I was deemed a non-operational police officer, which means instead of being out in the front line tasering people, I was destined to spend the rest of my career behind a desk. This is why I started at Tech Crime in 2008. I was disappointed and frustrated with the challenge placed before me. I loved being out on the road with my mates and saw an office job as a backward step. But instead of letting that negativity define me and overcome me, I took that perceived negative and made it a positive. 3 years later, I started conducting cyber safety presentations at my son's school, much to his embarrassment, and I finally developed a passion for educating you guys in the online world. Since then, I've grown to become recognised as one of the nation's leading educators in my field, and that success is built on a foundation of fear and apprehension. A path I was first too uncertain to follow ended up being my greatest journey. That success, in part, is because of you, my kids. Now, I'm not going to stand here and say I'm the best cyber safety educator in Australia. Pause for effect. But I believe my success has been built on the fact that I've never come out and said to you, don't do this, don't do that. I've simply shared with you my experiences and my knowledge in order for you to make your own decisions. In 2015, I walked into Leeming Senior High School for the very first time, and I fell in love with the place. For the last 6 years, each of you has embraced my education with respect and understanding, and for that I sincerely thank you. As you start your journey in the real world, I ask you to reflect on the words you hear today and remember the lessons and influences your teachers, staff at Leeming have provided you. You are here because you deserve to be here, and you truly deserve the very best in life, no matter which path you choose to follow. I leave you with another quote. This one's mine. It is something I've used quite often through the difficult times. Quite often, We get so caught up in where we are going, we forget how far we have come. Looking back on those very first few days in Year 7, you've made a massive achievement. So get out there, embrace your journeys, make a difference. You are all legends. Thanks, class of 2023. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul, for your inspiring words. We have a small gift as a token of our appreciation, and it was a wonderful speech. Thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you.